This is NXL 360. Thank you so much for joining us. Like and subscribe. That should be the theme, guys. When you're watching our show, just like and subscribe. Our subscribers are not growing the way we want to. How many? 1,000 something. No, guys. Okay, that's not about subscription. Yeah, guys, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Honestly speaking, yeah, the aim is to have a lot of numbers, not to have 5,000. Okay, I'm joking. We appreciate everyone who have subscribed so far and all those kind of things. 1010 is here. Gonna discuss the nominees for the PSL players of the season, obviously, and then we're gonna look at the latest transfers that are happening. And then here went to Orlando Pirates and did some medicals. Then I'm not sure if he took the medicals of Pirates and went to Sundowns and signed a contract. I don't know if Tenten will tell us if there's something like that. If you can go to another team and do medicals, then you go and give Fleming back the medicals, then they sign a contract. But obviously, it looks like Sundowns he really gotten a good player there. If you can chook, Sundowns have signed two players. That is Anton van Beek, quality player, and Seandan Love. Sundowns, they know how to sign players. Well done to them. Pirates are continuing, obviously, with the signings of no-name players that we don't know. Some of the players they are signing, we don't know. Some of them. We hear they've signed some player from Durban City. It's like, this Pick and Pay branding 1010 called No Name. Those are the Pirates. Pirates now will end up calling them no-name FC. How are you, 1010? Yeah, before we go to the awards, what's your take about the whole thing of Sianda Ndlovu? But Sundowns just announced him. He did medicals at Pirates, allegedly, according to Far Post and Itiski Times. And then he went to be unveiled by Sundowns today.
Hola, Naji. It's strange to see that a player can do medicals with one team and end up signing with another. But for me, it can happen either or, because you'd find players' contracts being terminated based on the failure of medicals. So I guess Sianda weighed his option, did not accept or appreciate the offer that maybe they gave at Pirates. And then Sundowns came with a better offer that he could not look back and had to accept it on the spot, even before he does medicals with Mamelodi Sundowns. But they've got a good player there. It's a great signing, definitely. It shows the intentions. I mean, they are competing with Orlando Pirates, and they made sure they give Sianda a better offer than what he has received, allegedly, based on whatever that has been spoken about. Orlando Pirates gave him a smaller offer, and then Mamelodi Sundowns came with a bigger offer as compared to Pirates. Maybe he did not even want to wait and see if Orlando Pirates can come back and better the offer. He just couldn't resist. Those moments, sometimes they happen. Any offer, Nadim, you don't even want to think twice. Hey, what if I decline this and then I don't get the offer that is better than this one? So you take whatever that you feel it's rightfully you deserve at that present moment or at that time. So I guess that's what he went with. But it would have been lovely seeing him with the colors, the Orlando Pirates. He's got that personality of playing for Orlando Pirates. If you can look at a personnel of Ama wingers and number 10s that Orlando Pirates normally sign, it gives you the reference.
Yeah, okay, 1010. So what does it mean? You played for Pirates. Do Pirates pays a lot of money though, 1010? Because we've been hearing, how much were they paying you at Pirates? Do they pay, how much were they paying you? How much was the Aaron Duke paying you at Pirates? Do they pay a lot of money though? Because now I'm tired of pretending. I always hear players saying bad things about Pirates. That at Pirates, I think we have Patrick Twala who says at Pirates we're playing for the badge. So Villagas who complained about the salary that was getting. We have Kemi Rasmus who said he when he joined Pirates, he had to accept half of the money that was getting at Sundowns. Just be frank, do Pirates pay players enough? Can Pirates compete with Sundowns? Is there financial problems at Pirates?
And Nadim, that's a very interesting question, but I'm going to answer it as best as I can. I don't think there's financial problems at Orlando Pirates, one. If they were able to secure a player like Upeni McCarthy, and I'll always make an example of him, but they managed to secure Upeni McCarthy, and you know of Upeni McCarthy's profile. Unless if somebody comes and say, no, Penny Olson, I was playing for a patch, or him come and say he was playing for a patch, of which I doubt. He is a big player and wouldn't have accepted an offer that it is not beneficial. And I don't like to really take much into hearsays, Nadim, because in most cases, these publishers, they publish things that are not true. They can come back and say, yeah, Utola was getting paid 500,000, only to find Utola was being paid 50,000 rand in any other teams. So it leaves so many questions.
I'm asking you, 1010, who paid you more between Orlando Pirates and Vets? Because you played for Vets and then you went to Pirates. Who paid you more? Where did you get a bigger salary?
It was at Pirates, Nadim, because Pirates bought me from Vets. So Pirates paid me more than what I was getting at Vets. That's the honest truth. But as to how much was it, that we can't open about it. And I don't know how much other players were getting paid or are getting paid. Because those are the things that we don't discuss. We only focus on whatever that has been given to you. And if it's an offer that you appreciate, you take and you accept it. If not, then you try and negotiate something that you feel it's going to be suited. And if both parties don't agree, that means you will never reach an agreement. You go elsewhere and see if they are going to offer you what you want.
1010 is the first time hearing someone saying anything when it comes to money, something positive about Pirates. Is the first time. Most of these players in this podcast, okay, that's an interesting move. At least my Buccaneers, Pirates are not that bad. 1010 is saying he got paid more at Pirates than Vets. Or for me, it's the first time hearing, because I've been hearing a lot of things. Because even this thing of Sianda at 1010, they are saying he was given an offer, he declined it, then he went on to go to Sundown. So that's the story. Before we move on to the Player of the Season awards, maybe your opinion on 1010. Who do you think Pirates should have kept him or tried to force the move? How much of a blow that Pirates let go of such a quality player? That's question number one. The second question, does it mean Sundowns and Pirates cannot compete with Sundowns in terms of paying players? Those are the two questions. Then after that, we'll go to the Players Awards.
I would say it is a blow and not a blow, to be honest, because there's so many quality players, Nadim. Yes, Undlovu is a quality player, would have benefited Orlando Pirates a lot after the announcement Gary like moving. He was going to help a lot in terms of closing off that gap, but does not mean Uguti the other players that they've signed they won't be able to. He's a good player, and definitely he's a good loss and a good signing for Mamelodi Sundowns. Sundowns and Orlando Pirates competition when it comes to salary brackets, and if I knew how much maybe other players were earning and how much Mamelodi Sundowns are paying their players, then I could agree or disagree to the statement to say Pirates can't match Sundowns paychecks or Sundowns can pay more than Orlando Pirates. Because we always hear rumors with Hoto is earning so much, so and so is earning so much. But believe you me, if you have a close relationship with so many players and then you ask them, I've once encountered such a thing, Nadim, coming back, Ekasi, people thinking that I earn a lot of money, because something was said on the radio, only to find they were shocked because we were that close with the friends that I had, and I showed them the payslip. But there's no such, So I say in most cases, whatever that the
How much was in the payslip
at that time? It was 9 point something, I think.
9 point something.
Yeah, it was 9 point something.
9,000.
Yes.
Where?
I
At Orlando Pirates were getting paid 9,000.
No, I doubt there's a player that can be paid 9,000 at Orlando Pirates.
So which team was paying you 9,000? Which team was paying you 9,000?
Nadim, let's focus on the footballers and whatsoever. But what I'm saying is that
team? Is it a PSL team?
Everything that is published is not true. So
is it there's a PSL team that once paid you 9,000?
Yes.
Which one? Chippa United. When you started,
Nadim,
right?
Yeah, I think cheaper also I end very low because being Pumagen FD and I was just terminated in the NFT,
So, that's a cheaper way. Or your first contract at PSL was 9,000.
Yeah. Yes.
Cheaper.
And at that time, it felt enough because remember I was in the NFT team and I was earning even lesser than that with NFT. And then the contract gets terminated halfway through the season. I sign it cheaper. It's better offer that I received as compared to whatever. For me, at that time, it was sufficient. And, I took it and said, listen, I could still be earning 7,000 rand or lesser if I had stayed Cape Town, But moving to Chipa, it was a bit of an improvement. And I had to perform to the level best where to Chipa had to give me an offer that was deserving of the performances that I was giving. And he gave me a
Oh,
very improved contract.
then from cheaper to Vets, that's why you started getting a good PSL salary at Vets University.
Yeah, that's when I was like, oh, Ganti, ikoni mali PSL.
And the women started, and the women started coming, sending you pictures on Instagram.
No, nah, never. No,
They were not sending you.
no. I'm not
They
that
started
big on
when sending you
socials.
pictures when you joined Pirates.
No, they did not. The following grew even higher when I joined Pirates. That one is a fact. Once you move from any other teams to move to Orlando Pirates, Chiefs, or Sundowns, your following becomes bigger because those are the big
So,
teams.
like with women that were interested in you, when you joined Pirates, now you started having a lot of girlfriends. Or
Next, I started being focused.
but the women were interested. Obviously, the women were interested.
No.
They were not interested.
Oh, man, I never had that. Maybe I ain't.
No, we're hearing pictures. Good see soccer players received very interesting pictures on their Instagram. We've been hearing that a lot.
Banenhlanhla-ke sugar labo, eh? I've
And
never,
that's
I've
why
never
Monya
experienced that.
had to leave Pirates because it was not focused. It was up and down, Wits University. I'm a student, I'm sending my pictures.
That I don't know. If people but I don't think ukuthi such happens only to soccer players, that have it happening to them. I think people in the public spaces, man, they get to experience the social influx when it comes to either women or men. I'm sure there's actors who are females that get a lot of DMs from guys. There's a lot of actors that are male that get a lot of, DJs, probably even the different fields that people work on now. People are targeting doctors, accountants. People are desperate
They are
out
right.
there, Nadine.
They are right. There was a time where I used to be. Yeah, right. Yeah, no, that's true. Okay, let's go back to football. Footballer of the season got Oswinapolis, the nominees, Oswinapolis, Mfokeng, and Tobo Mkwena. Yeah, we'll try to be brief as we can so that we don't really dwell too much because obvious 10-10 is still gonna be announced. This is the nominees. It's only our opinion. Who do we think should win? Those three nominees, 10-10, who do you think should win between those three players?
I'm going to remain consistent with my choice, Nadim. For me, footballer of the season for me, I would give it to Oswinapolis, But if it does not go to Oswinapolis, I would be okay if it still does go to Relobile Mofokeng. They had the best season in the PSL. But my first choice would be Oswinapolis.
Why do you think Mkwena is there? Do you think he had that great season to a point where he has to be there? Mkwena.
Debs, I don't think he had that of a great season because it's a standard drop for Mina compared to the seasons that he's been having in Mamelodi Sundowns, So in the PSL, they did not win anything. They came second best to Orlando Pirates. They lost on all the trophies. I think he's there because they conquered Africa. It was just unfortunate on the PSL side, but they managed to win the very important trophy in the continent, which is the CAF Championship.
Was he even the best player at Sundowns in Utebo Mkwena? Was he even the best player? Can we say he was the best?
I think he was amongst the best performers, Mamelodi Sundowns. He wasn't at the top, but he was amongst the best performers. Because for me, I think one of the best performers that I saw at Sundowns is their winger, the boy we wanted.
Matthews, yeah.
Matthews. I think Matthews, yeah. He's been like their unsung hero. He's been their unsung hero because he's contributed so much to Mamelodi Sundowns' great performances. And then the rest can come after him. That's how I see it.
I think there's an element of not treating him fairly, Matthews. I feel, honestly speaking, it's unfair that he's not in the national team, not even in the nominees. He's been having an outstanding season at Sundowns. It's very interesting that Mkwena again, it's like the guys who judge, they just remember Mkwena and put his name, even if maybe he didn't have the best of the season. I don't know. If you look at his statistics also, you feel like this season, he played 23 games and scored 4 goals. Okay, 7. Maybe it's an improvement because if you look in the league, in all competition, he scored 7 goals from 41 games and 2 assists. Maybe looking at that kind of position. But Allende also was so impressive this season. Allende, I don't know. I don't know if Mkwena had a better season than Allende at Sundowns. I've seen Allende coming through for them. It's a very interesting choice. I agree with you. Apolis should be the player of the season. If for me, I'll be shocked if he doesn't win it. Apolis, I will say it's unfair. Honestly speaking, I will say it's unfair if Apolis doesn't win it. And there are things that I'm gonna say because it looks like it will be unfair. Because one, Relem Fokeng was not the best in the first half of the season. Even going to the AFCON, Hugo Bruce said he doesn't. He just wanted to help him go back to his best. There were so many stories. People were saying even Kota's departure affected Rile. So if you are talking about the football of the season, just like you said previously, it's the footballer of the season, the whole season, not the second half of the season. So I'm not gonna fall part of the campaign that says Relay should be the footballer of the season. I don't think it deserves it at all. I think the guy who deserves it, fair and square, it's Apolis. He played every game for Pirates this season, 10-10. Especially in the league, he played every match. There's no match that he missed. Relay missed them, even though Relay, he was also there, but there were times where he was just off form. Apolis was the one pulling Pirates. One will say he deserved to win it, truly speaking. With them going up being there, I think they just wanted to add a third person. I don't think it should be. Maybe it's between Relay and Apolis, but obvious. The way I see it, they might give it to Relay Mpokeng because there's this hype about him. He left South Africa, it's going to Belgium. There are lots of things. I think the judge might be tempted to just give it to him. Okay, let's move on 10-10 to the Betway Premiership Player of the Season. Player of the Season. This is the Footballer of the Season. I honestly think they should combine this award. It doesn't even make sense. Footballer of the Season, players. Okay, Player of the Season voted by the players, right? Yeah, so
Players
the
is
player.
voted by players.
Okay, the players of the season. Okay, I understand why is there. Our police is there. Mfokeng is there. Sibelebele is there. Who do you think is gonna be the player of the season? It's very clear for me who is it gonna go to.
I think player, just in my opinion. It's interesting to see Osibelebele in that list. It shows the influence he had when he came back from his injury, which is very impressive. But for me, players play, I think it's gonna go to Urede because he's the most loved player. And his second half performances, they would give him an upper hand to win it against Ozwenapolis. That one is a player's choice. And if a lot of players like you and they are honest and truthful about the performances, it's easy for them to vote for you.
So maybe Apolis will say he didn't win the players player if the players don't vote for him because it's colored. Remember Mama Joy 10-10, he said, you remember Mama Joy said Gaten McKenzie didn't take him to be part of the fans to watch the World Cup in the US because he's married to a white man. I think we might see some race card here where Apolis feel I was not given the players player of the season because I'm colored. On a serious note, the players will decide. I'm not a player. I've never been one. So they will decide. But I agree with 10-10. I think in terms of popularity, Relay is definitely going to take it. I think it's going to go in that route. And then when we go to the Premiership Coach of the Season, Miguel Cardoso, Mamelodi Sundowns Champions League winning coach.
I don't think they should have even made the category and included the other finalists, to be honest, Nadim, because even the award, it states itself, it says Betway Premiership Coach of the Season. The guy already won 3 trophies, plus the Champ of Champs, a Carling Black Label. Why do we still have to include other coaches? It's just unfair. Bekumele nje bayi-declare bamnike ukuthi Betway Premiership Coach of the Season, Abdusalom Wadu. The same way it's happening with the top goal scorer. This one is not negotiable. Akunakuthi sizothi no, Cardoso came close. The guy already won 4 trophies in his first full season in the PSL. So they must just give him the award. Even the other nominees, I think they know Guti. It's just a standard procedure that there has to be other names mentioned. The award shouldn't even be negotiated, this one.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's an obvious award. Owado is expected to win it without a problem. I mean, the guy, as 10-10 said, is the best coach. I'm thinking that he's one of those coaches who just came and from Marumo Kalan, saved them from relegation. Pirates won M10-8, won Carling, won the league. First season never happened ever in South African football. We need to be honest and give credit where it's due. Where a coach wins all those 3 trophies in his first full season in South Africa. Even Pitso Msimane never did that. Yeah, it's been impressive in that light. Goalkeeper of the season. Oh, goal of the season is Dancing, Mren Dancing, Orlando Pirates against Sundowns. Glory Lepo, that is Kaizer Chiefs against Marumo Karans in Bloemfontein. Then Sandandlov, I don't remember what goal there. Because I don't watch Arrows that much. I have to be honest. I have not been watching Golden Arrows that much, so I don't remember. Maybe you'll remember 10 if you the goal of Sandandlov that is basically tipped to might be the goal of the season. What to take about those who are three players who should win the goal of the season?
It's very interesting pick when you go through and look at the goals. There's a goal, I think Usianda Ndlovu was dribbling past people, Nadim. It's a very interesting goal. You must go and watch it. But for me now, I think it would be between Cameron Danson and Lega Sianda Ndlovu. Lilepo, I'm not sure whether he was crossing or he was intentional about hitting it where he was saying I'm scoring, because it's very difficult to judge a goal in that manner. Because it looks like Begefunu crosser, but the ball went straight in the goal, you know? So it's a beautiful goal when you look at it, but is the intention to score or he was crossing and then Lady Luck fell on his side, Ipola Laya straight palin. But also, Mena, looking at the goal of the season, I always say you look at the intent for me as to was this person meaning what he was doing? Did he execute it correctly? And who did he do it up against? So for that, I would give it to Cameron Danson. On his weaker foot, against Ronan Williams, a team that they were competing with. Sundowns was leading. Uishayengo left. It was a beautiful goal. It was a stellar. And then Egalilepo, I'm not sure whether it was a cross or it was a shot, but if he was intentional about taking a shot from that angle, I would give it to Lilepo.
Yeah, interesting choices. I just saw the goal of Sianda. For me, it looks like poor defending. I don't even think it should be there. It looks like poor defending from Stellenbosch. I don't know. That is my opinion anyway. It looks like it was just players were tired, falling, and then yeah. But the one dancing, scoring against the Bafana number one, that dancing goal should be the goal of the season. The funny thing about that,
And
he
he
scored that
meant it,
goal. Yeah, he scored that goal, and he never played for Pirates again. That was, I think, the only start he started this season. And then other people are saying, Okora, from there he never played again.
No, but
45 minutes.
he's a good quality player. He's one for the future. I think you saw they also started introducing him towards the end of the season, you know. Don't be surprised if Utalo Umbona starting the games in the upcoming season. He's a very, very talented young boy. Good midfielder of that note.
Yeah, no, definitely dancing. Hopefully, Pirates, it looks like they're selling everyone who's available. Immediately they see you, someone walking, they sell you. Because we hear that they've sold Mpokeng. We hear that a police is leaving. And now there's offers. We hear, I don't know if it's true or not, Mahopa again. I haven't asked anyone. And then there are even people talking about Mbata. I don't know if it's true. But it looks like Pirates, they're just selling anyone they see at Rand Stadium. Immediately they see that you are there, you're still there. So maybe Pirates will be in trouble this season. If they continue selling like this and losing players like Ziandalo, they'll be in trouble. We need to be honest. We don't have to be biased. Pirates will be in trouble at the next season. And in actual fact, they need to bring quality players to replace the players if they are going to sell them. If not, they will not win with youngsters. Ngeke uze win with youngsters. Last season, they won, obviously. There was Mbata, there was Makaula, there was Hoto. There was a huge experience. We don't know if players like Hoto will still be there next season. That kind of experience, the team will need it. All these youngsters, it's attractive watching them, but they'll never win you the league. Pirates, I think that there's a team that needs to learn the most. They tried to win the league with both Joseph Makanya, Nabole Mkwena, and Constantine Papic. Chiefs will overtake them in the last day twice. Yeah, so it's not easy winning the league with youngsters. And then we're going to go to the defender of the season 10, or goalkeeper of the season is Sipo Chain. Obviously, I think he had 22 clean sheets, right? 22 or 21 clean sheets. And then Ricardo goes, Brendan Peterson. Obviously, the criteria here is very simple. The goalkeeper with the highest number of clean sheets is the one that win the goalkeeper of the season. I think that one also 10-10 is very obvious.
Yeah, that one is also obvious, Nadim. The category in which it's the goalkeepers, they normally pick with clean sheets, and Lucy Pochaine is an obvious winner. Plus, he brought in a new goalkeeping record. So I think it goes to him. No matter what can be said or discussed or have arguments about Peterson having a good season as well, was making more saves than, but This one, it's an obvious pick. It goes to China for, I think, the 22 clean sheets that he has kept in the Premiership. A new record. He broke a record ga Monique Josephs, no Williams in the PSL and at Orlando Pirates.
Yeah, I broke the record of Monep Joseph, 17 clean sheets, Williams, 18 clean sheets per season, 21 clean sheets official. So the goalkeeper of the season, the goalkeeper with the highest number of clean, we need to be clear, the goalkeeper with the highest number of clean sheets this season is Sipo Chine. They must just say goalkeeper with the highest number of clean sheets this season. They must not say the best goalkeeper this season. They must say goalkeeper with the highest clean sheet, not the best goalkeeper, because this season, Sipo Chine was not the best goalkeeper. We need to be honest with that again. Was not. And yeah, there was not the anyone who can tell me that Sipo was the best goalkeeper this season, I will say tell that person straight is lying. Sipo was not the best goalkeeper. If he was the best goalkeeper, which game did he win a man of the match? One. Not which game. He never even win one man of the match. So he can't be the goalkeeper of the season. Oh, is the goalkeeper? No. Now I think we need to explain to them 10-10 that a player, remember that clean you remember we're talking about the player of the season. Rilem Fokeng won a lot of clean sheets. Apolis won a lot of not clean sheets, man of the matches. A player who can say is the best is someone who has won at least man of the matches. China, I don't even remember him winning one man of the match. And we've seen Brendan Peterson winning a lot of man of the matches, us winning a lot of man of the matches. So we can't say the guy who has less man of the matches was better than the one who had a lot of men of the matches. I'm saying the criteria, it suited China because the criteria is not for the best goalkeeper, basically. It's the goalkeeper with the highest number of clean sheets. Sipo China, we can't say is the best goalkeeper this season. It is the goalkeeper with the highest number of clean sheets. You understand that, 10-10?
No, I get you. That's why I got a lot of attacks, when I said I would have taken Brendan Peterson to the World Cup, because I was looking at the performances and I was looking at the teams that we are going to face. Should anything happen to Ronwen Williams, do we have someone we can rely on in making those saves? So, but I fully agree with you on this one. Whereas we don't normally agree with a lot of things, but I agree if they can change probably the criteria's name and say a goalkeeper with the most number of clean sheets, not the best performing goalkeeper, then we would start having a situation where we had a Barcelona goalkeeper and a Real Madrid goalkeeper. I think Casillas had lesser clean sheets than Valdez, but Casillas won based on the number of saves, the games he played, the man of the match accolades that he came out with. We would get to that standard. But as it is here in the Betway Premiership, I think they remain consistent with their selection. The goalkeeper with the most number of clean sheets stand a greater chance of being the goalkeeper of the season.
Yeah. So, yeah, it is very clear. I think we need to be transparent and be honest and that the story of Iker Casillas and Victor Valdez, I love it because Victor Valdez used to be the goalkeeper in La Liga with the least number of clean sheets. But the goalkeeper will win the goalkeeper of maybe like the goalkeeper of the season. It will be Casillas, will be regarded as the best goalkeeper. So if you don't believe us, it's very clear. Go to La Liga best goalkeeper. 2009 and 2012. Silas was La Liga best goalkeeper, but who was having less clean sheets? It was Victor Valdez. Go and check. It's very clear. We're not even lying. Just go to La Liga and check La Liga best goalkeeper. 2009 and 2012, it was Casillas. But Victor Valdez, Barcelona was dominating, winning the league under Pep Guardiola. So it is what it is, guys. So we need to be honest and feel like Chain, for me, was not the best goalkeeper this season, but he had the highest number of clean sheets. The best goalkeeper this season was Brendan Peterson, and maybe followed by goals. Yeah, maybe Williams even one will say Williams was a better goalkeeper than Chen this season. China, I feel there were a lot of games where Pirates, like against Chiefs, one clean sheet, one goal conceded, one shot on target. I mean, one goal conceded. There've been those kind of games where China will receive one goal, and there've been a couple of games also where they will not even pay a shot on target against Pirates. So China will not be saving. The defense was that good. But obviously, we're not saying he doesn't deserve the goalkeeper of the season. He does deserve the goalkeeper of the season because it is the criteria says a goalkeeper with the highest number of clean sheet wins it. It's been like that. So we're not saying it must be changing now. Maybe there should be two categories. They must be the goalkeeper with the highest number of clean sheets and the best performing goalkeeper. Because you can have highest number of clean sheets without being the best performing goalkeeper. Okay, 10-10, and then we're moving to Betway Premiership Defender of the Season. Khuliso Mtau, Mamelodi Sundowns, Siema, Orlando Pirates, and Nkosinathi Sibisi. I think there's a bit of, what do you call it? I think it's a bit also strange. Hoto should have been there, is not there. You would think, I mean, if you look, the guy, he had so many clean assists, was very influential at Orlando Pirates. To put CBC ahead of Hoto played more number of games. The whole first round, CBC was on the bench. It was Mbogazi and Siema. To put CBC ahead of Hoto, for me, it's almost madness. I don't know what to take about that award.
For me and Nadim, I would have included Uhoto in the category, honestly, because as a defender, assist that he has, the influence that he had, it was a good, he was a good impact player, even when he was coming from the bench, or he deserves to be in this category. And it's true what you're saying. CBC was not playing Usiema Nombogazi. Then after departure Mbogazi, then we started seeing Usiema no CBC. But also for me, I don't think UCBC Usiema meant to say, for me, I would give him the most improved player. And a reason being, as a centre back, he had a fairly good season for Orlando Pirates. It was his first season, but you look at the mistakes amanye bekawayenza. You then question to say, is he really deserving to be amongst the defender of the season? So Mauzo question the inclusion Gasibi. So with first round of the season, it was Mbogazi and CM, but the people that were making those errors that they need to improve from, Usiema had a lot of errors at the center back position. Yes, he rectified them with his performances that he also scored important goals, but I would have Uhoto Lapayana, I would have Nosibelebele for me. Now, there's no way a boy who played, got injured, come back and still give the performances that he gives and be voted by other players to be in the top 3 of players player does not get to be included in the defender of the season. For me, now it's so sad. I would have those 2 names in that block. But as it is for now, a person who was more consistent in performances, I would give it to Mutau.
Yeah. Mtau, also think Mtau should be the defender of the season.
I think so, Nadim, because when you look at the people that he's competing with in that category, if Begno Hoto, I would give it to Hoto. If Begno Sbelebele, I would give it to Sbelebele. But Usibisi did not play most of the games first round of the season. Usiema had more errors when you compare him to Umudau. Yes, he was there in other goal involvements, same as Umudau. When you look at the number of mistakes, I think Umudau, the experience plays in a huge role when you compare the two. That's why I think he gets an upper hand for me. I would give it to Umudau, Mina, in my opinion. But we don't know how the panel will decide.
Yeah, that's an interesting category because if you look at Mtau, also, I feel like he didn't play enough games, just like CBC at one point in time. When the season started, he wanted to leave Sundowns. He was not happy. And then he came in, obviously, as the best right back, one of the best defenders, or maybe the best defender in the PSL, Mtau. We don't have to lie and say there's a big defender who's at that level of Mtau in the PSL. I don't think so. I don't think that person exists anyway. He's a top right back. If you're looking at the best defender this season, one will say Khuliso Mtau in South Africa is the best defender. But if you're checking about the league, and then you need to go and check what has he helped his team achieved. I know CBC last season won the defender of the season. Okay, Pirates didn't win the league. So even Pirates fans, I don't think they will be angry when Khuliso Mtau is given the defender of the season without Sundowns winning the league, because last season, CBC won the defender of the season. Pirates didn't win the league. And if you can check, among the 3, who's the better defender between Siema, Khuliso Mtau, and CBC, one will say Mtau is a better defender. Then who has had the better season? Yeah. For me, I think it's gonna go to CM. You look that
Yeah,
it just
it can go to CM, Nadim, But
Yeah.
I would still say, man, I would give it to Ukuliso. And the reason is that Ukuliso was very influential for his Sundowns. That's why even when he wanted to leave, there was those discussion and the squabbles, him being excluded from the team at that time. They saw importance of having him back. And I don't think he missed a lot of games, you know. But we also have to remember there was a time where Usiema's mistakes omitted him from being in the lineup when Umbogazi was still there. And then they started playing Umbogazi Nosibise at some point when they were playing in the CAF. If you remember, Osiema was once dropped. Then they had to bring him back because Usibi's performances also were not aligning to what they wanted until Osiema started readjusting and getting the groove of it. And still after that, there was a time where he made certain errors. You know, it's part of the game, it happens. And the most unfortunate thing about eFootball is that no matter how of great performances you can give for your team, but it doesn't only rely solely on you. Umudau could be giving the best performances when Sundowns is playing because he's been consistent for his Sundowns, going forward and defending. But there are games that they lost, you know, even with his best performance, because football is a game that plays 11 player in versus 11 players of the opposition. So whatever performance that you give, if your team does not equate to the performance that you give and the other opponents are far better compared to your team, then you lose the game. Leo performance doesn't count for nothing. It goes to him not helping Sundowns win anything in the Betway Premiership. But was he giving the best performances? Yes, he was. It's just unfortunate ukuthi team yakhe did not go on to win Carling Black Label, MTN Betway Premiership, the Nedbank Cup. It happens.
Yeah, it happens. But overall, I think the best defender this season, Siema, has two. He only missed 2 games this season, scored 2 goals. Pirates conceded only 12 goals. Highest number of clean sheets, 21. And in all those clean sheets, one will say Siema was there. I will definitely give it to Siema. I think he deserved the defender of the season. Only missed 2 games, and his team conceded only 12 goals. We can say whatever we want with Mtau. He was there when Sundowns were struggling, sitting goals also. I feel Mtau, yes, is the best, but Siema, I think, if you look at the clean sheet of Chain, was saying sometimes they will not even have a shot on goal because of him. I think he was brilliant. 28 league matches in your first season as a starter in a PSL, because the TS Galaxy was not a starter. I think 10-10, he deserve it. I think he's going to win it, Siema. Easy. I don't even think it will be. I think the judges will just going to give it to him because he only missed 2 games the whole season, 28 matches, and playing full 90 minutes in all those 28 matches. He only missed twice. Definitely 10-10 is going to be the defender of the season. I don't think
Yeah, no, he can
Muta
take it.
Mutau played 21 games, no goal. And then CBC played 23 games, again, no goal. I think the most performing defender, one will say, is going to be Spin CM. I think he's going to be given that award. You don't think so?
No, I think he's going to take it. I think he's going to take it, Nadim, because Mudau did not play much games. And when you compare his game tally and Mudau's games, he has more games. And when you compare the contribution, I think Mudau has more assists than him, but his team also conceded less goals than Mudau's team. So he has an upper hand to winning this defender of the season compared to Mudau.
Yeah, definitely does. And then we're going to the Premiership midfield of the season. I think this one is just a repetition of the, I don't know, 10-10. That one don't even have to last that much long. It's Osuna Police, Fokeng Mkwena.
For me, I think it's between Oswin no really, to be honest. Any of the two, if he gets it, they deserve it. They have more goals, more assists, more involvement, and so any of the two.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you. Any of the two between Police and Mpokeng. Yeah, I think that one is obvious. It's strange to see attacking midfielders being given in this award. I thought maybe they would give it to more like central midfielders, and defensive midfielders, not like wingers like Mpokeng and Police. Okay, but they are there. It's very clear that they're going to win. And then you've got Betway Premiership Young Player of the Season. Caesar from Arrow, Sambi, TS Galaxy, and Mpokeng Pirates. This one is very strange because Mpokeng won the I think he's won the last 2 young player of the season. For me, I'm against this thing of putting a player who's established like Mfokeng in the young player of the season category. I think they should change this award, honestly, if they want to be in touch with reality, the PSL. It must be the breakthrough talent of the season. You still put Mfokeng there as a young player of the season for what?
I think they put Mfokeng because of his age, Nadim. You know, it's a 2-2 chance. It would be unfair if Giaco still equates to you being nominated and you had the best performers. When they say like Betway Premiership young player of the season and you are still young, despite the fact of Uguti, it's not your first season, it's not your second season, probably, you know your ways in and around the PSL. But if you still deserve and you are still in the age group to be nominated as a young best player, then I think it should be given. Whether you've played your fifth season, if ungenona 15 and at the time you are 20, which would be probably your 15th, your fifth year in the PSL, but the age yakho isakuvume. So the other ones as well, they are in your age. Yes, they might not be in your experience, but age group, intanga yakho mawuyibona nawe iyenza doing the wonders, you should be motivated and not be fearful in wanting to do the best that you also can do. So I think age-wise, as long as you still qualify, no matter how many seasons you've played in the PSL, I think it should continue because age group, they compare it with age, not only the years that you've been playing in the PSL.
Yeah, 10-10. Yeah, so obvious that one Mfokeng is gonna win it, right? I think
Surprise.
No, there's no surprises. For me, I would love it if it can encourage the players who are new in the PSL, the breakthrough of the season. This one, okay, yeah, but it is what it is. Mfokeng is gonna win it again. I think Mfokeng is gonna win all the awards anyway. MTN last standing, men standing, Apolis, Moremi, Sibelebele. This one is very clear. It might go to Sibelebele. What do you think?
Yeah, any of them, even Umuremi had a better tournament in the MTN 8, but whoever that's going to win it, go le three, I think he deserves it. Honestly, the three, they were outstanding performers go MTN 8 last man standing.
Yeah, no, definitely. Anyone, but for me, Sibelebele, he deserves it more than anyone. I remember the goals he was scoring against Sundowns. Without those brilliant goals, Pirates were just in trouble. He literally saved Pirates because he was just scoring spectacular goals, Sibelebele. For that reason, I think he should be the last man standing. I think this category, the judges must be fair and give it to Sibelebele. They mustn't go with the hype of changing the award between a police and Mfokeng, because what they will do now, they will just give this one or this one. But the best player of the MTN 8 is not a police. It's Belebele. Even Moremi was brilliant in the final. I think he scored 2 goals. Okay, last man standing should be go to Moremi, then it's fine. It's about who win at the end of the day. The guy who scored the winning goals is Moremi. The award should go to Moremi. Okay, it's fine.
That's why I said any between Sibelebele and Umuremi for me, any of the two.
Yeah, end of the two. Then the curling player of the tournament is Washington Arubi. I think he went back to Zimbabwe. I saw him being announced there. Hey, the owner of that team in Zimbabwe, I think is Matt 1010. You know why I'm saying the owner of the team he signed for is Matt? He says he doesn't want a goalkeeper to make mistakes. The name of the team is Caps United in Zimbabwe. So the owner was saying they've signed him. The previous goalkeeper, they let him go because he was making mistakes. It Caps, as if you're a goalkeeper, you must not make mistakes. I think some people must stay away from football. How can you say a player must not make mistakes? Mistakes is part of the game, right?
Yeah, it's a game of mistakes, and sometimes they force you to make mistakes. Sometimes you make mistakes unplanned for, but you don't go there and say, "I'm going to make a mistake today."
Yeah. So which category do you go there between Warobi, Mbogazi, and Ndabayithethwa Ndlondlo? Hey, for me, I think Mbogazi is gonna easily win it. He was brilliant in that curling.
Yeah, Nami, I would go with Mbogazi. And at the end of the day, they are the champions of the Curling Black Label. And he had wonderful performances. You remember even the goal that he scored. It was out of this world.
And then there's a Nedbank Cup most promising player of the tournament. Yeah, for me, I want a Betway most promising player. You see, this one, it gives you players who are new. The most promising player is Jurgens at Durban City. it's not Nedbank Cup player of the tournament. It's most promising, which is good. Okay, we've got Kylie Jurgens, Mhlambi from TS Galaxy, Seluleko Mhlambi from TS Galaxy, and Lupumlo Sifumba from Durban City. Okay, obvious. I will always gonna say maybe it has to go to Mahlambi. I saw him destroying Sundowns. I think he did well in the cup. Obvious, Durban City were not in the final. Oh, they were in the final actually, TS Galaxy. That one is very tight, and I'm not sure who do you go for.
Yeah, this one for me, it's between Umahlambi and Osifumba, to be honest. But I think Umahlambi was more promising than Osifumba was. Osifumba, yes, some games he showed up, but Umahlambi was the live wire in this cup for ETS Galaxy. So I would go with Umahlambi. As much as Durban City is the one that won this cup, but I think Umahlambi deserves it more than Osifumba.
Yeah, Mahlambi, I think also he was brilliant for TS Galaxy. I think yeah. And then we're going to play of the tournament is Darren Kidd. It is retired. Durban City, obviously. Spamandla, Nganana, Durban City. Here is my join Sundowns. I don't know if it's true, but I was told he's going to Sundowns. That would be an interesting move if he joins Sundowns because I think it's the one who said when Pirates is just a name, when they played Pirates at Orlando Stadium. And then we've got the Lupum, okay, Brooklyn Pock and Pool. Player of the tournament, Nedbank Cup. Who do you go for there? I think that should be the last one because I know, yeah, that should be the last award we go for.
This one, I think I would give it to Manana, but Darren Kidd also, because he saved them a lot. Maunga Kumbola, Durban City won a lot of games on penalties. So I think Darren Kidd plus after retiring, it could be a good send-off for him.
Yeah, it could be a good send-off for him. I think Darren Kidd should win the award, not only the award, and win the chairman's award. I'm not saying I decide for the chairman who should he choose, but even the PSL chairman's award must go to Darren Kidd. I mean, he's a player who played for Vets, and then I think he played in Europe, came back at Cape Town City. Now at Durban City, they were in the top 8. He was brilliant. Experienced. I think this guy, he is not the most talented goalkeeper, but you can see he's a hard worker and he's committed. If you look at his career, I remember when he started at Vets, long time ago when Roger Tesa was still the president of Vets and the CEO and the coach and the head of coaching and the, and the head of scouting. Remember, there was a time where Vets, Roger was running Vets, who was the CEO of Vets and was also the head coach and was also the head of recruitment. I remember when he started at Vets, Darren Kidd has been consistent, guys. He played in Belgium, I think 2 seasons, then came back at Vets, then went back to Belgium again, then came back to NFD, Cape Umoya, then Cape Town City. I mean, the guy even went down to play in the NFD. That's the kind of a person he is. So for me, I think it deserves a special tribute. I think he needs to be honored with that award. It will be nice, a nice touch, even if they feel it doesn't deserve to win player of the tournament. I think because they helped Durban City to win the tournament anyway. As you said, there were games where they went on penalties, was brilliant. Yeah, 10-10. Those are the awards. Very interesting. In NFG, again, there's Mutsipe Foundation Players of the Season. I don't know if you watch the NFG. I don't watch the NFG because it's not on TV. The players are Ketukutula Ndlovu, Kruger United, Ronald Van Niel, Hungry Lions, Emil Boy, Cape Town City. I don't know. Do you want to talk about those players? Do you even watch NFD? For me, I can't really because I'll be lying. I've not watched one full game of the NFT.
Yeah, Nadim, it's difficult to really talk about the best performers go NFT because their games are not all live. Yeah, there is a few games that I watched when they were playing like closer to where I was. When I was in Pretoria, I got to watch a bit of Tuks, but you can't then make a decision only on few games. For me, I think it would be an unfair opinion coming from us because we hardly see the games. It would be nice if maybe they could start showing most and more of NFT games because it is a professional league as well. I think it would be good for NFT games to start being televised so that the people can understand and know and see what's happening in our second division. The more games they get televised, the more the other teams can get sponsorships as well and start paying players well and make sure the league is equally competitive to the standard that we want to see it at. And we saw how NFT teams did when it comes to the Nedbank. It was the first time finding 2 NFT teams in the semi-final of the Nedbank. Can you imagine if they won both those games and the final was played by two NFD teams. It would be good for South African footballs. It would show Uti the NFD standard as well is high up there. You know, the same way as it happens in England. The second division games, they televise them. It encourages players to also want to perform, and it minimizes the complaints and the cheating, because we know how the coaches always complain when they show the clips. There's no way a full month go on and there's no complaint by a coach saying officiating was bad and all of those things. So I think the more games are being televised with NFT, the more better the stature of the league would become.
Yeah. I agree with 1010. In order for the corruption to end, the bad refereeing in the NFT to end, because the refereeing are bad in the NFT. We know that is difficult. That's why some people even prefer buying status, because to go out, the referees will mess you up there. Most people have complained about it. We're also just saying it will be nicer to have the games on TV so that we can see if there's real corruption or people are bitter losers, because they always complain and say the NFT is very tough and it's bad and all those kind of things. But it is what it is. Maybe the PSL will get a sponsor for the NFT so that the NFT games are televised. Honestly speaking, it would be nicer that at least maybe 50% of the NFT matches get televised. SuperSport must do that. It mustn't only broadcast the PSL, because some of the teams in the NFT are very interesting, like Cape Town City. I mean, it's still there. I mean, people will be interested to see how are they doing it. Maybe if they can follow those kind of, because those are the teams that feel robbed, 1010, the teams that are just promoted. When they go down, they find it harder to come back. Yeah, but obviously, it is what it is. I thought Cape Town City would be promoted. They were not promoted because they bought a lot of colored players and white players. Colored and white players, they're usually good in Cape Town. Away from home, they struggle. That's why most Cape Town teams, no Cape Town team will ever win the league in South Africa, because of they do well in Cape Town, away from home they lose and struggle. In order to win the league, even Stellenbosch, they're not going to win the league under Gavin Hunt. Yes, Gavin Hunt won the league with Vets, with SuperSport 3 times, but he will not win it with a Cape Town team, because Cape Town teams have a tendency of signing a lot of colored players, and the colored players become good in Cape Town only. Away from Cape Town, they are
Somewhat so, but someone can come back, Nadim, and say, but Santos did win the league, you know. So one would say they have to do it the way Santos was doing it when they won the league. But ever since after Santos, Cape Town teams have been struggling to compete at the highest level for all the trophies, to be honest.
But when Santos won the league, I remember, I think I was still at high school there, so I remember that team that won the league. They had players like Jean McDicta, they had players like David Notwane, Musa Oshieno from Malawi or Kenya. They had a lot of experienced players who won the league. They were not only from Cape Town players, they were players from Mauritius, Kenya, South African players. Some of the experienced South African players were playing for Santos. So I think that is the problem that I think Santos won. That's how they eventually they got relegated, because they had signed a lot of colored players. When they sign a lot of colored players, you'll be relegated. Don't make it a colored team. Yes, we know in Cape Town most of the people are colored, but once you make it a colored team, because colored players they struggle to play outside of Cape Town. They really struggle. And the Cape Town team, they don't do well outside Cape Town. Yes, they won it, Santos. Andrew Arendse, they had experienced players again. I agree with you. Maybe if they can go that route where we have experienced players. That time, Andrew Arendse was a Bafana number one goalkeeper. 2002, he went on to play for the World Cup. That just shows the quality of the guy and the highly experienced. So they had a lot of experienced players, Cape Town City, that won the league. I mean, Santos that won the league. So I think it's always going to be like that. The only solution, they must sign a lot of black players. Even if Cape Town City, I believe if they had a lot of black players in their team, they were going to be promoted. I watched them against Mackenzie 10-10. I think I only saw 2 black players in that team. I think in the lineup, only 2 black players, and they are going to be promoted without black players. Ngeke kwenzeke lokho, ngeke kwenzeke lokho, ngikhulume kahle ngesiZulu. Ngeke kwenzeke. I don't think it's going to happen. The guys who are signing, even Stellenbosch nearly got relegated because they were having now a lot of colored players. Steve Barker had to go to Tanzania. Gavin Hunt came in and signed Tsehofatso Mabatso, Oli Sanda. Those 3 guys from Sundowns, including Musa Lebusa. Those are the players that saved them from relegation. It's a fact. With those colored players, they're going to be relegated like Cape Town Space. Cape Town Space, they came in wanting to have the squad, the more colored players, got relegated twice. So it's based on facts. It's not based on anything else. South African football, you can't be good at home only. You need to be good home and away. That's it. Try to find that balance, then you'll be fine. And then what to take about Shaulile that has joined? Okay, it doesn't have a team. Do you think Pirates should sign him?
For me, Nadim, to be honest, Shalulile is a top striker that ever graced the Premier Soccer League. You know, he's been a best performing striker, I think, for the previous 5 seasons at Mamelodi Sundowns. And now he's broken the record Laga Nomvet, of which Nomvete can't recover from that. We will just have to wait for somebody new who can surpass the record that Ushalulile has set up. If he does continue staying in the Betway Premiership, I think he's going to increase it. And he would be a good signing for Orlando Pirates because they need someone who's going to score a lot of goals for them. Because Urile was amongst the top scorers for Orlando Pirates. We already know he's gone. There's a rumor that Police might leave. He was also among the scorers. And when you look at the striking force, say Orlando Pirates, they lost to Tsokofatso Mabasa now, who was amongst their top scorers. Umbutuma no Mahopa, they are hard workers, but they don't bring you a lot of goals. And Ushalulile has got that in his locker. He's a goal poacher, he's a goal scorer. And having Ushalulile at Orlando Pirates, I think with his experience as well and them wanting to compete and conquer Africa, I think it could be a great fit. He's coming with an experience. He's coming as a champion, CAF championship. So that might rub off to a lot of individuals of saying, we want to have what you had. I mean, help us. Because if you remember, AK's achieved as well. They went on to play the final, the CAF Championship, after the signings of Okama Billiard, because they came on with that energy, CAF, that experience, and they could share their experiences amongst the other group. And look at where it got them. Getting into the final of the Champions League, Nadim, is not something that we should take light because it's difficult there, you know. So I think Shalulile, as a top striker that he is, teams must go knocking. But I heard a rumor saying he wants to go outside. He nearly did last season and it fell off. That's why he remained at Mamelodi Sundowns. So I don't know if he would want to play for any other team in the Betway Premiership apart from Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah, no, I agree. It will be an interesting signing. He's the best player ever to play in the PSL, best striker. The numbers are there. The guy played for 6 seasons, but look at before Harrensback, maybe 8 seasons. I think he was brilliant. He's the greatest signing that has ever played in the for Sundowns. One will say the numbers are crazy. Also won the football of the season. Yeah, Shaulile, any team that signs him will have gotten a good striker there. I think Pirates need him more than Sundowns. If you look at the strikers at Pirates, there is no player that is better than Shaulile. Evidence Mahopa is not a better player than Shaulile, as well as Radio Pan is not better than Shaulile. Butuma is not better than Shaulile. Who's the other striker at Pirates? 3 only, yeah? It's Mahopa, Radio Pan, and
yeah, I think so. I think those are the ones that you mentioned.
Yeah. No, they need another striker. And Shaulile, if they can sign him, I think it might help Pirates because I heard also off the field, people don't look at his age that the guy is 32 years, turning 33 in October. The guy lives a very good lifestyle. I hear that he well behaved, he doesn't drink alcohol, he trains hard. We hear good things about Shaulile, nothing negative. And so
I also think, Nadim, the teams should do away with this age thing. If a player can still perform, why not? Look at what Messi is doing in the World Cup. And how old is Messi? So if you got a person that is still performing at his best, you need to overlook the age debate, the age issue. Because at the end of the day, man, I always say a great mixture of experience and young players will definitely warrant you good results. It might not be winning the trophies, but there's hardly teams that are going to be relegated having good experienced players, having good youngsters, because the youngsters are going to learn a lot from those experienced players. When it's time for those experienced players to move out of the system, the youngsters are now becoming the senior players, you know. So talking about the topic Gashalulile, you never hear bad stories about him. The age shouldn't matter as long as if he goes, he performs and gives you results. forget about the age. Munare was one of the best performers for Iskukune as well. You look at Munare's age, he's in and around there, 36, 37, 38, but he can still perform. Makaula, same. He's old at Orlando Pirates and in South Africa's vocab of age group when it comes to the. But he was amongst the best performers for Orlando Pirates as well. So this age thing should not even be a debate. Nababo Luka Modric at AC Milan, they gave him 2-year contract at the age that he arrived at. Why not? He can still perform, so he deserves it. Shalulile as well, abakhohlwa ukubheka age. Look at what the person does and what he can still do for you. Ushus also was old, but was amongst the best performers at the age that he was at.
And looking at Kukune also, I don't know if what's happening there. I need to call the owner of Kukune. I need to call them. I need to find out. The Brett Lukropa is released, Rivaldo Kutsia released, Tabang Monare, gone, Lebuhang Piri, Lisibanku. And then you look at Lindam Tambovias retired. Now we hear Lina is going to go to Kaizer Chiefs. I'm not sure if I'm happy with that kind of releasing so many experienced players. I don't know if maybe the director, what is the guy's name? Walter Sternberg, he went on and lied to the management and tell them that they must play with youngsters. Because Kukune have been having a very good mixture of experienced and young players. Now it looks like they are releasing all the experienced players. I don't know if Walter Sternberg went to there to lie to them and tell them, because they said he's the head of strategy. Maybe told them that is a good strategy to do this. I'm not happy. I need to call them as Kukune and find out, because this is our team's Kukune. He is destroying the team, and I don't think this needs to be allowed. Honestly, after the show, I need to call Kukune people. What to think about that 10-10 as we wrap, that they've released Breklo Hopper, Tabang Monare, and then Langa Mohame, Batman, Rivaldo Kutsia, Linda Mtambo is retired. And Katoso, I think they also say Katoso has left Kukune, right? And then Lena again. They said I don't know. It's a strange thing. Such a goalkeeper. It looks like they're gonna release him for free. Forgot Mazola Mlefe. It's like someone is Kukune forgot to extend the clause. Someone is dropping the ball as Kukune. How can you release Lena for free? It doesn't even make sense. Such a quality goalkeeper who was part of Bafana, then they are releasing him. They can't even get 5 million for Lena. No, it's not good. What's happening as Kukune?
Yeah, Nadim, now once a team start releasing so many experienced players, it takes me back to the Amazulu days. I don't know if you remember when they let go of a lot of us, and you saw how bad the team struggled for quite some time. They picked them up last season, because you don't just transition like that. For men, like I'm saying, you need the experienced guys to even guide the young ones that you are bringing in, but I remember after that incident happened, they lost us, and then after Makaula left, it was a struggle for a team to go back in competing to be in the top 4. So I don't know if Iskukune is going to survive if they don't bring a good experienced players after losing such great experienced players that they had. That was helping them to compete always in the top 4. Because we know Iskukune was always amongst top 4, number 3, challenging Pirates with the MTN 8 or the Nedbank. So mabayekeli experience engake ihambe. And the mistake that they also did, because I kind of feel if it's a mistake based on whatever the other journalists are saying when it comes to Lina, to say it seems as if like somebody forgot to exercise the option, and now Lina is a free agent and can sign for any team of his choice. I think he could be a good addition for any teams, whether it's Orlando Pirates or Kaizer Chiefs. They need such a quality goalkeeper that's going to help and push their other quality goalkeepers that they have.
Yeah, 10-10. Okay, I think I made a mistake there. Cardoso, he might be there. I don't think he has been released. But I think the problem is Walter Sternberg. I think when they to lie to the guys at Kukune and told them that you need to have young players. You see, it's like the position of Sternberg. He is the head of strategy or something. You see, these guys who claim that they've studied football and all those things, they mustn't destroy good teams that are Kukuna always in the top 8. All this thing of releasing senior players, I'm not saying Walter Sternberg, it's him, but it looks like it's him, because why immediately is appointed within 2 months? Kukuna release all the experienced players. I don't like it. A team like Kukuna is supposed to be fighting to win the league. You are never going to win the league with youngsters. Bradley Cropper was the best striker last season at Kukune. I think highest number of goals. Then now is not sudden. No. I don't like it. For whatever reason, I need to contact them and find out if they are trying to be relegated, or maybe they're gonna bring breathtaking signings because I see that they are signing some good quality youngsters, but that's not good enough. The experienced players, they still need to be there. If you don't do that, if you do that, I remember very well when we were playing at Amazulu, they released a lot of quality players, Augustine Mulenga. I think there's this winger from Orlando Pirates, the one who went
Memel,
to play for cheaper Richards Bay.
Memel, Luvuyo
Yeah,
Memel.
Mamela. They had a lot of quality players who make them finish number 2. And then they released them. They even struggled to be in the top 8. It took them 3 or 4 seasons to be even in the from number 2. That just shows once you release quality players, you go down. So I don't know. Maybe, unless there are other things. For me, it doesn't even make sense. You can't release quality experienced players. Okay, 10,
They
let's leave it up.
They went back to sign Umulenga again. So it shows that sometimes you make mistakes, but you can't recover from them.
Yeah, and by the time they resigned Molenga already, also, I don't know, he was also coming from Chipa United. Yeah, that just shows don't release experienced players if you want to stay in the PSL. A team like Skukune, it's not a miracle that they're always in the top 4. They're always in the going to finals, being in the top 8 without a problem because they have like players who are highly experienced. Yeah, it is what it is, guys. That's our opinion of the awards. Who's gonna win it? I think Police should win the match award, but obviously Relempo Keng, I won't be surprised if he wins it. One will say Police played every match for Orlando Pirates this season. It's rare when you see a footballer in the PSL being available, being fit, no injury, no suspension, the whole of 30 games. He did that without a problem. Even in the M10-8 and Carling and Champions League, he was there. So yes, some matches will come from the bench. One will say it was a strike edge, that was not fit or was no longer performing. He was consistent the whole season. Guys, like and subscribe. Catch us next time. Goodbye.